The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Hello, Lobo fans. Welcome into another edition of your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at the University of New Mexico, Danny Gonzales. Coach G, it's great to be with you. And the Lobos had a chance to go and play a team that you're really familiar with. You spent so much time at San Diego State. How was it taking your alma mater down south to play the Aztecs?
It was a good opportunity. We obviously didn't play well enough to even be competitive for the most part of the game. But it was good to see some of those guys, and they're a good football program. I mean, it's a program that's been built over the last 13 years, and they're a top 25 team. They're one of the 13 undefeated teams left in our country, so it was a great opportunity. I wish we'd have played better. I mean, we did some positive things here and there, but we got beat 31-7, so we got to continue to improve.
I know that the athletes look different, and you recruited a bunch of the athletes at San Diego State. You're still working on building the program here at the University of New Mexico. But is there a little bit of looking in the mirror a little when you see the team, across from you like that, and the scheme looks so familiar?
I thought, we got a bunch of young kids, the first two classes that we recruited, that are going to look just like those guys in a couple of years. Some of them aren't ready to play yet. I mean, if you play an offensive lineman early, they'll get annihilated, and you have to spend 2 years trying to build them back up. So we've got some guys coming down the pipeline. We've got to continue to get better than the ones that are playing right now. But that's a image of what we're trying to create here, and we've done it before.
The Aztecs came into the game one of the top rushing teams in the entire country. You guys did a really good job after the first drive of the game of holding them down, especially containing Bird, the New Mexico kid. He never got off.
He did not on punt returns either. I thought our punt team's done a great job since the Texas A&M game of improving every week. The first 2 weeks we struggled, and after that we've been pretty good. And Jordan Bird's dangerous back there. He never got going on offense. Greg Bell had a couple runs that we could have played better, but we did an okay job stopping the run. I mean, we've got to give ourselves a chance, though. We can't give up 100 yards rushing. I mean, we can't right now.
One of the things that fans remember from the finish of the game, Coach, is two key components of your offense going down on consecutive plays. What can you update us with in terms of the condition of the elbow for your quarterback, Terry Wilson?
Well, Terry Wilson dislocated his elbow. It took about 3 doctors to get it back into place. So that means he tore some stuff in there. It was pretty swollen yesterday. We'll check it again tomorrow morning. It'll be a game time decision of whether or not he can play. It's not his throwing arm, so that's a positive. Some of it will come down to toughness, and some of it will come down to the swelling. If the swelling doesn't come down enough to get the brace on, then it doesn't matter.
And Keontae Lanier, right? Yeah.
It's going to be how tough he is. He's got a sprained AC joint, which is basically a separated shoulder. Luke Weissong's playing with the same thing. So my challenge to Tay was, Luke's playing, are you going to play? He said, I'm playing, Coach, no doubt. So we'll treat him through the week and get him ready for game time, and I'm sure he'll be out there.
Great effort on that diving attempt at that deep ball. He almost came up with it.
He did. It was really close. We got to make those plays, though. Tay, over his career, he's going to make a bunch of those plays, and so will Luke. The positive is they're playing through injuries. I mean, they've got some stuff that would keep a lot of people out. Tay may have had his shoulder hanging to the side when he would come off, but he got off the field. They looked at it, and so we'll continue progressing down that. We've just got to continue to get better.
And you think you might get C.J. Boone back this weekend?
We should.
So the wide receiver room, which had been depleted there for a while, hopefully, if everybody can get in there this weekend, building back up.
The only one that we should not have is Manny Logan Green. He's still dealing with his separated sternum, so we'll figure that out as we go and see what the long-term deal is, but he's still struggling right now, and that's a pretty gruesome injury.
With regard to the quarterback's room, Isaiah Chavez will be available this weekend.
Finally, after 6 weeks of not being available to us, he practiced last week. Now he's finally cleared to go. We'll give him some reps at quarterback. You got to remember, though, for 6 weeks he couldn't condition, he couldn't train, so throwing him out there right now to start a football game and be ready to go would not be the wise thing for anybody. So we've got to work him back in, but we're going to give him, he's going to have an opportunity to play next Saturday, and then if Terry can't go, I think we're going to keep Trey at wide receiver, so between CJ and Isaiah, we'll have a game plan.
All right. When we come back on the other side of the timeout, first half highlights of the Lobos and the Aztecs from Los Angeles. The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Welcome back into your Lobo Coaches Show with the head football coach at UNM, Danny Gonzales. I'm Robert Portnoy. It's time to get into first half highlights of the Lobos and San Diego State from LA.
Now, we started out on offense. We go 3 and out, unfortunately. They got pressure right away. We keep some guys in, but Terry did a nice job getting rid of the ball. We punt. I thought the punt coverage was really good. Like I said, I mean, Jordan Bird's dangerous, and we get a good job down here covering. Dante Martin does a good job, and then Matthias Bertram makes the tackle. I mean, that's pretty good. They get him 5 yards. He's dangerous. On defense, the first play, from some familiarity, they don't normally block out. They kind of were familiar with the scheme, and Ronald didn't play that good enough, and we give up a long run on the very first play of the game. We have an opportunity here in a second to get off the field. We make a good play, not a great. Here's Justin right here, Justin Harris. All let's do is catch this ball, and we can make up for that first play mistake. But that's a nice job getting his hand on the ball. We have an opportunity to keep him out of the end zone. We got to keep him out.
Is there a possibility he can get both arms to that ball, you think, as you look at that
I think
replay?
he was surprised that it got thrown. And for guys that don't normally get that, it's a quick reaction. I mean, next time he'll have a better chance to make the play.
So the zone read, in terms of the way that's operating right now, how do you like it?
We're too inconsistent. That ball should have been handed right there. If he hands it, Aaron's going to have a chance to make a couple yards. We did some things up front on offense in the second half better than we did in the first half. In the first half, we really couldn't get anything going until the end of the drive. After that first touchdown, I thought we did a pretty good job in coverage. We had opportunities to get off the field. 3rd and 10, we get off right here. I thought Brookshire should have ran that ball. He could have probably got a first down, but Cody would have had to have made a good tackle, but our guys stayed in coverage. We have another 3rd down opportunity here in a minute. I'll talk about it when we get to that. Really good 3rd down pickup right here by Connor Widoff. Unfortunately, he got his leg twisted in that pile right there, and we lost him for the rest of the game. Hopefully, he'll be back next week.
So tight end position, and you're already thin a little bit at the tight end position, having lost one before the season even started. So Aaron Dumas, a really good game running the football.
He really did. He ran hard. I think there's some more yards out there, and as he continues to get familiar with the speed of the game, he will make those plays, and we won't leave hidden yards out there. This was a big play in the game. I thought 3rd and 14, we get pressure on the quarterback. We've got a deep half safety back there in cover 2 that should intercept this ball. It should not be pass interference. That was the right call. It definitely was. But if we make that play, they punt the ball. We don't even give up a field goal, and we're still going to be 7 down just 7-0.
Do a great job, actually, after that PI call to hold them to a field goal. And, the feet, I don't think Andrew Erickson gets credit enough for his athleticism. That was a great play in space.
He doesn't. He's one of our better receivers. He can get open. This was a big play right here. Luke had an opportunity. We're starting to move the ball a little bit. That's Luke Weissong's first fumble in his entire career, whether it was Yaffle, high school. The big boys hit hard, and that's a really good job by Crawshaw right there of knocking that ball out, and they returned it. Now, defensively, we came out, and this was a huge series. 10-0. They've got a lot of momentum, and we get a stop. We stop them. They go for it here on a 2nd and 4th down. We did a really nice job for the most part against the run, limiting big plays. Here's a good coverage by Corey right there. A little overthrown, but I think if the ball's thrown tight, Corey's going to have a chance to punch it out. 3rd down. Now, Tavion, I thought he could have intercepted this ball on Saturday. A play that I think he'll make in the next couple of years, but he got him down short of 1st down. They go for it on 4th down, and Dante Martin does a great job in coverage.
Now you've got some guys perfectly in phase there on some deep balls on that series. The defense continues to do its job and keep your team in the game.
It did. Now this one, Dante's got to make this play because we had them 4th and 2 again. They went for it. We get good pressure on the quarterback. Dante got a little bit dirty eyes there, and then they complete it for a 1st down. Now that play right there, Ronald Wilson, true freshman. First time it's ever happened to him. We have a defense that he should hit the quarterback in the back of the head. I promise you for the rest of his career, he'll make that play.
And here we were talking about Dumas and the work that he did for you. Maybe as good a game as he's had as a Lobo.
Yeah, I thought this drive was really good. We got some push up front. Rats and Yang's in there at center doing a really nice job. And we did some things to get ourselves down in scoring position. We've got to capitalize on these opportunities. If we go into halftime 17-7 or even 17-3, now, I wasn't kicking the field goal, so it was going to be 17-7 or 17-0. We could have had a lot of momentum coming out, especially the way we started the second half.
And you gave some new faces an opportunity on the offensive line, and it started to pay some dividends. This is a beautiful throw down the middle there to Elijah Queen.
A really good job by Elijah right there. Now, this one, Trey's just got it lofted over to Terry, and he kind of threw that a little bit hard. Now, Terry's going to have to beat Trenton Thompson, number 18, right there, but it would have been a positive play. We get the ball down to the 10-yard line. We've got to put this in.
So there's Trey Hall playing at the wide receiver spot. Good hard running after the catch, and this is the one that was costly.
We've ran that play a couple times and it's worked to perfection. Terry's got a couple reads on there. He kind of tried to force that ball in there, and they did a really nice job in coverage. We can't do that. We can't turn that ball over right there. 2 turnovers in the first half on a 17-0 game. We had an opportunity to get off the field on a 4th and 2. We didn't do it. We had an opportunity to score a touchdown. We didn't do it. So we go in 17-0. It's been a close game, a competitive game. We've just got to continue to capitalize and make plays instead of shooting ourselves in the foot.
You mentioned a couple of different reads on a play that's worked before to Kyle Jarvis there on the tight end throwback. If Terry recognizes it's double covered, what is the progression? What should he have done there?
We had a guy open in the flat. I mean, he could have dumped it, or you tuck it and run. And I think Terry made a decision, and right when we snapped the ball, he was throwing it. And you got to give San Diego State credit. They obviously had prepared for it in that situation. We've used it down here in the goal line a couple times. They were ready for it.
All right, when we come back on the other side of the timeout, the Lobos and the Aztecs, second half action from Los Angeles. The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. New Mexico and San Diego State went at it in Los Angeles. It's time for second half highlights with Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzales.
Now, we challenged our kids to come out in the second half and be the aggressor, take the fight to them. Because, I mean, I think we have to, we're changing the attitude. They got to believe in themselves because we've got enough talent to get after them. And I thought they responded really well on defense. I mean, we came out, the kickoff was good. We get a block in the back because Ray Luatele just runs right by the guy. And then we get a 3-down stop right there in the second half. This was, the first drive, really good job right here. We give the ball back to the offense with an opportunity to change the field, but we didn't get anything done with it.
I love that it didn't matter what they did to get Jordan Byrd the ball, whether they hand it off to him, whether they throw that little jailbreak screen. It didn't matter. You guys were all over him, and he's their game breaker.
He is. Now this one hurt because we had changed the field, and then we get a sack to get really far backed up, and we can't really convert anything off of it. Now we get lucky right here with the pass interference penalty, and it was the right call. The guy on my sideline said it's targeting. I was so glad they didn't rule it that. Targeting, it was an inadvertent hit to the helmet right here. You can see it right there. He's not trying to headhunt him. I don't think he's headhunting. But they called the pass interference, so we got the first down.
Okay, so you get the first down off of that. You want to take advantage of it. Really nice to see Bobby Cole, basically minutes from where he grew up, get a chance in the second half. After the targeting from a week ago, he doesn't play the first half, but he ran so hard in the second half.
He's running angry, and we need him to run angry. That's when Bobby Cole's at his best. This is a really nice job right here by Luke. Trenton Thompson, who we recruited there, the number 18, he's a really good player. He kind of bit on the out and up right there, and it's a really nice job by Luke, moving the ball down the field and catching it when Terry threw it.
That's a slow developing route, too. You have to get a lot of time to have that come open the way it did.
Terry had a lot of time on a few times on Saturday that the line did a good job protecting against those guys, and we got to continue that. Now here we are in the second half again. We were the aggressor. Tavion Combs makes a great tackle, and then Ray strips this ball out, scores a touchdown. I'm thinking right here, okay, it's 17-7. We're going to make a game of this thing. We've got all the momentum right now. Really good job right there by Tavion. You can see him slip a block, and then we put the ball in the end zone. And when your offense is struggling, sometimes the defense has to make a play like that.
So I know after a play like that, you want better kick coverage than you get right here.
This is disappointing and part of an attitude of our football team. You'll see George right here. Steinkamp make the tackle on Jordan Byrd. Our sideline celebrated that. Look at Troy Cicero's right there. We can't, we just gave him the ball in midfield. We've got to change that attitude. Everybody should be disappointed. Now, good job by George. It should never get to George is the problem. Now, this one right here, we've got to, right there, that's a penalty. That's undisciplined by Deion Hunter right there. And in the process of we want to be tough guys, we want to play the game aggressively, we want to do it the right way, that's not being a tough guy, standing up over the top of somebody. And those are the kind of things that we've got to continue to teach our kids so that we can play within the white lines, we can be aggressive, we can play the right way, and then not get silly things like that hurt us. That extended this drive. We still had momentum on defense. We give them a 15 yards. We get a holding call that you saw there by Corey. And then Ray trying to make a play, and I don't even blame him. He hits the tailback. Quarterback does a great job on the read, and we don't have anybody out there to tackle him.
Is there somebody else with responsibility for containment there?
Well, Ray's not supposed to run in there and hit the dive like that. Ray took a guess. And then right here, Joey Noble, in today's game, you can't hit a quarterback like this. You got it right here. You'll see him. The ball's gone. Joey's got to realize it's gone and avoid him. Back in 15 years ago, that was a really good play by Joey Noble. It's not anymore. And those are the kind of things that kill us when we have opportunities to get off the field.
And this one on review is ruled a touchdown by the other Bell, Chance Bell. Greg Bell is their star tailback. What about here, the final 10 minutes of the game and what you thought about what your offense got out of it?
Our kids are still fighting. That's the only positive we have going on right now when we're in situations like this. They still want to be good. They want to win. This is a good run by Aaron right here. If you notice right there, San Diego State still has their starters out there on defense with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They haven't taken the pedal off the gas either. They're trying to keep us out of the end zone. They're trying, which they did. But our guys are doing a really good job of moving the ball on this drive against them. We've got to just continue to capitalize and finish on plays. We can't give up plays and get an intentional grounding here. We can't do that.
By my unofficial count, it might have been more, but at least 5 runs of 10 yards or more for Aaron Dumas in this game. Really effective. And, when Terry gets pushed back, straight back in the pocket like that, is there something else that he can do to avoid those grounding calls?
Well, he's got to find the area where there's a receiver around. Knowing the route tree, that's where he hurt his elbow right there, and you can see where it got dislocated. They had to pop it back in. Knowing where the receivers are helps, but when you're in so much distress sometimes, you just get rid of the football. And we got an intentional grounding. It's happened twice this season so far.
So CJ Montez, another local product. I mean, he won a 13-year-old national championship with the Money Boys Snoop Dogg's team. He gets to play in front of his home fans, and some more hard running there from Bobby Cole.
He did. I was surprised that he threw this ball. And now he said, I saw it on the field, and I'm thinking, what in the heck? He's 15 yards short. He saw the DB get a good break. That's actually a veteran move right there to get the ball down in the dirt. CJ's going to be fine. I was really disappointed this one. You don't run out of bounds on 4th down. I happened to be right there by him, and we had a good little conversation. CJ Montez isn't scared, so he'll have an opportunity this week if Terry can't play. And, I'm excited to watch him go out there and play. We've got a bunch of young kids that aren't scared. Up front, we played some old linemen that aren't very seasoned. The older guys are helping them out still, even though they're taking some of their reps away. That's a positive sign of a good football team. Now, we have a long way to go before we're good, but we're taking baby steps.
You mentioned talking to CJ on the sideline. I also saw you talk to Deion Hunter. He's a local product who played his high school football, great high school player here in the metro area. And then you said he's going to be a great football player. It's why you gave him 42. That talk, I'm sure, helping him in his development after the taunting penalty. And I know you think he's going to be great.
I think Deion's going to be a really good player. He plays the game the right way. He was a little bit frustrated that I was getting upset with him because we do want them to play over the edge. We do want them to do those things. But they have to understand how to do it. That's not necessary. And I was emotional right after it happened because I was upset. So we had a really good chat right there. Not so much of a chat, and I think he understood where I was coming from after I explained it to him. Those are the teaching moments that we have to do because we need to learn how to play that way. And when the whistle's blowing, you stop. And then you get an opportunity on the very next play to do it all over again. There's an attitude to that. But there's also a responsibility that you can't hurt your teammates by being selfish, trying to do something to get yourself pumped up. We have to celebrate together. If Joey Noble's standing right next to him on the play, if he celebrates together, it's not a penalty. But Deion kind of flexed over him, and they're going to call that every time. And I got no problem with them calling the penalty. We can't do that.
All right, learning experiences for young players. We come back on the other side, and we preview Colorado State and New Mexico from University Stadium. The Lobo Coaches Show is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. We're back to wrap up this edition of your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at UNM, Danny Gonzales. Coach G, final thoughts on the 31-7 loss against San Diego State.
We've got to continue to capitalize on opportunities. We had opportunities against UTEP to win the game in the second half. We didn't make plays. We had opportunities in this game to actually keep it close. We saw at the end of the first half, the turnover, the personal foul, the pass interference. We have opportunities. We've got to make those plays. Texas A&M and Air Force were a little bit different. Those got away from us early, and we didn't stop the bleeding. But when we have opportunities to stay in games, especially against a team like San Diego State, a top 25 team, we have to capitalize.
So this one frustrating because you feel like you had a chance to be in the game and even have a chance to win the game.
If we capitalize early on and keep the game close, we would have had a chance in the end. We didn't do that, and then we let them score 2 touchdowns in the second half after 4th down opportunities. We've got to, when I said last week, when the offense is struggling, the defense has to make more plays. And we made some, just not enough.
Okay, really special day coming up on a Saturday at University Stadium, a 5 p.m. kickoff against Mountain West rival Colorado State. The Lobos try to end a 10-game losing streak against the Rams, but a Lobo all-timer, Dontrell Moore, the top rusher in the history of the program, will go up on the Ring of Honor in a little ceremony at the end of the first quarter. Coach G, I know you're just so excited about it.
I'm excited and I'm proud. It's well-deserved for the young man. He's done phenomenal things for not only our football program, but the community of Albuquerque, the state of New Mexico. Dontrell Moore was a great football player when he was here. And that's what he's being awarded for what he did as a football player here. The things he's done after, that's just because he's a great human being. I'm excited to be a part of it because I was a part of it when he was doing the plan. I didn't think he got the credit he deserved then. Well, he's going to get the credit he deserves right now.
Well, you and Coach Long and the whole staff and all of his teammates, all a part of the man he is too. You're part of his maturation, and I know you're really proud of everything he's done.
I am, and I think that's our job. I think we have to help these guys become young men. They're going to be parts of our citizens and of our community, and it's exactly what Dontrell's done.
Okay, what about Colorado State? What problems do the 2021 Rams pose?
Well, if you watch them against Iowa, 24-14 loss, they played really well. They turned a ball over in the third quarter that was probably the difference in the game. Down in their end zone, allows Iowa to tie it up. Colorado State's got some really good players. It's going to be a great challenge. We've lost 10 in a row to them, and our team's going to hear about it all week. We get them at home. I'm great for another opportunity to go out there and compete.
You told us at the outset, maybe Terry Wilson plays, maybe he doesn't. If it is C.J. Montez or Isaiah Chavez, full playbook for those guys?
For sure. It doesn't matter who it is. We're going in with a game plan that they'll be able to execute. If we execute it the right way, we'll have a chance. If we don't, we'll see the same story. So we're going to challenge them.
Any chance, because of his experience at the position, Trey Hall handles the signal calling at some point?
I don't think so. We can put him in there for certain plays, but we're really trying to establish Trey as a wide receiver. He's got some ability out there, especially with Manny out, that we need. And CJ and Isaiah will be just fine.
All right, Coach. Well, you had that 4-game win streak, now a 4-game losing streak on the heels of it. You know, the last 2 were victories from last year, the 2 opening wins this season. Time to get it back on track and end a streak, the 10-gamer I know you'd love to bring to an end.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's important to our program. I mean, this has been a great rivalry between the two schools. They have the upper hand right now. So let's go out there and get after them and compete.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Robert.
That'll do it for us for this edition of your Lobo Coaches Show. So long, everybody, and go Lobos.
Go Lobos.